Cunningham, the first player off the bench to provide lineup versatility and shooting. Either way, there are a lot of options.
So apparently the Fever just leaked their starting five.
In order for the Fever to achieve the goals that they have in front of them, everyone is going to need to buy into their role.
They're going to be a phenomenal group. I'm excited for all the other pieces that came in this offseason with me. And so when I really see what I can do here, I'm confident in that, but I really am just excited for the big picture of what everyone brings to this team.
Woman, Sophie Cunningham just became that player for the Indiana Fever, and her first comments about being benched for Caitlin Clark are sending shockwaves through the league. This isn't just about a lineup change, it's about a championship formula. While everyone's focused on the starting five of Clark, Mitchell, Bonner, Howard, and Boston, Sophie Cunningham's new role might actually be the secret weapon Indiana needs. The stats don't lie. Teams with elite scorers off the bench win titles. And what Sophie just revealed about her new position shows she's not just accepting it, she's ready to redefine it completely. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
So I saw Sophie Cunningham talk about how she is thrilled to join a supporting role next to Caitlin Clark and that she's playing on a stacked Fever squad.
I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win. And I really do think that with the group that we have, that we are going to win. We are going to get a championship. Just kind of heard what they were doing. And of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world that is like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something?
You know what happens when a player gets moved to the bench? Usually they get upset, demand trades, or cause locker room drama. But Sophie Cunningham, she did something completely different. Her reaction has everyone talking, and it shows exactly why the Fever might be building something special. When the Fever signed Caitlin Clark, everyone knew the lineup would change. That's just basketball reality. Sophie was looking at a starting spot before Clark arrived, and suddenly that spot was gone. This is typically when the drama starts brewing. We've seen it 100 times. Player gets benched, player gets angry, team chemistry falls apart. But this story took a completely different turn. Sophie admitted she was shocked when Coach Stephanie White first told her about coming off the bench. At first, I didn't know what to think, she said in her first interview after the decision. Imagine being in her shoes. You're playing well, expecting to start, and then suddenly your role completely changes. That's a tough pill to swallow for any competitor. The pressure was real. Sophie averaged 14 points per game as a starter last season. Most players would see this as a major step backward in their career. In the WNBA, where careers can be shorter and contracts smaller than in men's sports, starting positions are valuable currency. They lead to more visibility, better stats, and ultimately better contract opportunities. So when you lose that starting spot, it's not just about ego. It can affect your entire career trajectory. What's crazy is that Sophie was actually playing some of her best basketball right before the lineup change. Her three-point percentage was at a career high 38%. She was finding her rhythm, looking confident, and suddenly, boom, she's told she'll be coming off the bench. That's the kind of timing that makes players question everything. Behind the scenes, things were more strategic than they appeared. Coach White revealed she had a private meeting with Sophie where they discussed the team's championship vision, and this is where it gets interesting. White wasn't just demoting Sophie, she was inviting her into a carefully crafted plan where Sophie would be key to making it happen. The coaching staff, led by White, has a comprehensive vision that maximizes every player's strengths. White explained that Clark would be used in a Steph Curry-esque role, constantly moving off the ball to create chaos for defenses. But for that system to work, they needed someone like Sophie coming off the bench to provide a different look and skill set. This wasn't about Sophie being less valuable, it was about her being valuable in a different way. Sophie had to make a choice, fight for her starting spot or embrace a new role that could help the team win more games. This is where careers pivot. Some players never recover from being moved to the bench. They resist, they check out mentally, they become locker room problems. The tension built as teammates waited to see how she'd respond. Would she become a problem or a solution? What happened next shocked everyone. Instead of complaining or demanding a trade, Sophie said, "I'm going to be the best sixth woman this league has ever seen." Let that sink in. No drama, no complaints, just a total embrace of a new challenge and a commitment to excellence in a different role. That response isn't just professional, it's championship material. And think about how rare this is in professional sports. When players get demoted to the bench, we expect pushback. We expect them to be upset. But Sophie completely flipped the script. She didn't just accept the role, she claimed it, she owned it, she transformed it from a demotion into an opportunity. The entire team's energy shifted after her response. Suddenly, coming off the bench wasn't seen as a negative. It was part of a strategic advantage. Sophie wasn't being punished by coming off the bench. She was becoming an essential part of a multifaceted attack designed to exploit every possible defensive weakness. What Sophie discovered during her research completely challenges everything we think about starting in basketball. When studying championship teams, she found something that changed her entire perspective on coming off the bench. When sixth women enter the game, opposing defenders have already spent precious energy containing star players, creating a strategic mismatch that championship teams exploit mercilessly. This isn't just a theory, it's proven by championship results. Look at the data from recent WNBA champions. Teams with firepower coming off the bench consistently outperform squads with 5 amazing starters and nothing else. It's like having a secret weapon that opponents can't prepare for because they're too busy worrying about the starting lineup. Sophie dug even deeper into the numbers. When I looked at the championship teams over the last few years, I noticed they all had one thing in common: bench production that could change games. She explained, "It's not just about having good starters, it's about having that scoring punch when other teams are trying to rest their best defenders." The analytics back this up in a major way. In tight playoff games, the teams with strong bench scoring have a winning percentage nearly 20% higher than teams relying heavily on starters. That's not just a small advantage, it's often the difference between winning a championship and going home early. What makes Sophie's situation even more perfect is how her specific skills align with this role. Her quick trigger shooting style means she can come in and immediately put up points without needing time to get into rhythm. Her basketball IQ helps her identify weaknesses and defenses that have already been stressed by defending Clark and Mitchell. And her energy level, it's absolutely contagious when she hits the court. Sophie brings a different dimension to our team when she comes off the bench. Coach White explained after practice, "She'll be our primary scorer with the second unit, which actually gives her more offensive opportunities than she would have starting alongside Caitlin. We're asking her to be aggressive and look for her shot, and she's embraced that completely." You can see why this role suits Sophie perfectly. As a starter, she'd be competing for shots with multiple all-stars. Coming off the bench, she's the focal point of the offense when she enters the game. More shots, more opportunities to impact the game, and more chances to be the difference maker in close contests. Sophie's been doing her homework too. She studied players who mastered the sixth woman role and powered their teams to championships. I've been watching film of De'Arica Hamby during the Aces championship run and Brianna Jones with the Suns, Sophie revealed. Those players changed games when they stepped on the floor. That's the impact I want to have. What's fascinating is how Hamby and Jones both increased their scoring averages after moving to bench roles. They weren't demoted, they were deployed strategically. Both went on to win 6th Woman of the Year awards, and their teams reached new heights because of their willingness to embrace these roles. The Indiana Fever's bench is quietly becoming one of the WNBA's most dangerous weapons. With Sophie leading that second unit, opposing teams can't relax when the starters sit. There's no drop-off in offensive firepower, just a different type of attack that forces defenses to adjust on the fly. Coming in against tired defenders with the green light to score, that's a dream situation for any shooter, Sophie said with a smile during media availability. "I've got the green light to be aggressive, and I'm playing against defenders who've already been chasing Caitlin and Kelsey around screens for 6 minutes. You better believe I'm taking advantage of that." This approach transforms the Indiana Fever from a team with promising young stars to a complete roster built for playoff success. While casual fans focus on the Clark, Mitchell, Bonner, Howard, Boston starting 5, basketball insiders know that championships are won by complete teams with production across all 40 minutes. Sophie's embracing of this role doesn't just impact impact the team's on-court performance. It's setting a tone for the entire organization. Her willingness to put team success above individual accolades is the exact kind of culture championship franchises build upon. It sends a message that this team is about winning, not individual stats or starting position. You know what we're witnessing with the Indiana Fever? It's not just about adding Caitlin Clark to the lineup. It's about building a complete championship team. Sophie Cunningham isn't just accepting a bench role. She's becoming that clutch player who can change everything in those final minutes when games are won and lost. The Fever's roster construction goes deeper than just star power, with additions like Natasha Howard and Dana Bonner alongside their new rookie sensation. They're not just looking at this season, they're building for sustained success. Sophie gets it perfectly. Championship teams aren't about who starts, but who finishes. Indiana is building something special here.